It's a full moon. I came on the mic just to murder beats, and now I'm ludicrous to disturb the peace. And now I look at rappers like a herd of sheep, and when I look around I get the thirst to eat. Throw rhymes like knives to the first to bleed. Speak under your breath if you heard of me. Nobody burning me, I've been born with...
What's good, everybody, and welcome to Body Bag Podcast. I'm Chris Thomas, and with me as always, Broke Rider Dave.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
I think that it took over a year, and this is a spoiler, by the way. This is a spoiler for the ending of what I rate this thing, but you're gonna kind of gather what I would rate this. But I think that I found a movie that I hate more than Venom, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Not the superhero Venom. For anybody who's been listening, then they know that we've mentioned Venom, the horror movie about Cajun venomous snakes and everything. That was like one of our first movies that we reviewed.
I want to say it's episode 6.
I want to say that too, but this one was... I hated this movie. I couldn't even enjoy it, ironically. There was maybe one instance where I got a genuine chuckle.
I think I know the parks, yeah.
And I'll say this. And when I told some people, hey, we're going to be reviewing a Hanukkah Jewish-themed horror movie, everyone who I said, especially given this climate right now, all of them said, be careful. Be careful. I was like, okay, I get it. I understand. I know really nothing about Hanukkah or Judaism other than some basic, like it's the 8 days, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe so.
8 days, and the story about having enough fuel to light the lanterns, and it lasted for over 8 days. I get some of the general gist, and I don't think I've really seen any Jewish-themed horror other than a movie called Meat Cleaver Massacre.
Never seen that one.
Which really didn't have anything to do with Judaism. It was about the golem, which is the only other thing I know about it, is the golem has its roots in Jewish folklore.
Okay.
So that is the extent. So I'm like exasperated because I just finished watching this 20 minutes ago. It just left me feeling exhausted, like out of breath from me just doing a lot of a lot of.
See, I think I'm nowhere near as angry about this movie as you are because I watched about like 2.5 weeks ago.
I could only stand watching it like in 5-minute increments. Then I had to take a break because I couldn't sit here.
Yeah.
I just can't. I'm not even Jewish, but even I could sit there and be like, this movie. It's not even that it was like offensive, which it is. I imagine if you are
well, I think this movie was made by like Jewish people.
I have no idea if that's true or not. All I know is that the way this movie looks, it looks like it was made for $10.15. It's a very cheap movie, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But all right, so start from the beginning, I imagine. Which you're gonna have to help me kind of stay on track with this, just because I tried to look. This was gonna be one of those I need to look up the Wikipedia to keep me on track. But at the starting of this, at the start of this recording, it has no Wikipedia, which is not really a good sign.
Yeah.
The only thing that, all right. So a little background. The reason why this came up on our radar is because it's getting to be the Christmas season. I wanted to do a little something different, so I never really seen any Jewish-based horror, so I was like, all right, why don't we throw in a little something that probably no one's going to be talking about?
Yeah, so...
And I saw that Sid Haig was in it, so I was like, oh, Sid Haig. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty,
I like Sid Haig.
Yeah, that's optimistic.
So,
it's starring Sid Haig,
although...
He's in it for about 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, he's in it for like a couple minutes, which... Devil's Rejects and, House of a Thousand Corpses, which it's funny because the dialogue sounds like it was made by Rob Zombie.
I think Rob Zombie's dialogue is actually better than what we got.
Yes, it was. All right, so you're going to have to bear with me, everybody, but just strap in because this was a horrible experience.
This is a rough movie, yeah.
All right, so, I mean, the main killer is called the Hanukkah Killer. Hanukkah Killer.
Yeah.
So All right, so the movie basically starts off. You see Sid Haig. Was he about to circumcise a young boy? Is that what he was about to do?
I think he was about to sacrifice
I
him.
thought he was about to like circumcise a young boy, but he has a woman chained up in a bathtub,
Yeah.
naked.
It's his wife.
That was his wife,
Yeah. And
and
that kid is his son. Like, so,
and
yeah.
I imagine he was bringing him down to sacrifice his son, much like how the story of what was it, Abraham sacrificing his son to God.
Yeah.
I believe it was along those lines that they were doing.
Yeah, something about that. Yeah.
He gets stopped by the police. The police shoot him down and rescue the kid before that happens. Then the intro credits. This is the Hanukkah killer movie,
Yeah.
and right off the bat, you kind of get it. No, that plus what happens 2 minutes afterwards is what gives you a gauge of what this movie is going to be. Because at this point, I'm thinking, all right, it's bloody, it's gritty looking. It's obviously trying to go for the same feel as like Black Christmas from the 2000s,
Yeah.
which I can get into. I had a lot of fun with Black Christmas.
Last year, yeah.
So I was like, all right, this is just going to be kind of like a gritty whatever movie with some like, I don't know, probably dreidels and stuff like kind of thrown in. But then it cuts from the credits to these two people out in the middle of the woods. And when I heard this dialogue, I was like, oh God, this isn't. I think I texted you at this point. I said, all right, these are going to be our main characters, huh? The guy, I don't remember the setup for it, but he said something like American Werewolf in your Heidi.
Yeah, something like that.
And then she responds with something like, put your pee-pee in me. I was like, what is this dialogue?
Yeah.
He says Heidi pee-pee. I was like, this sounds
Yeah.
like adult children, like adults, but have the mentality of children. Not like, oh, you're immature, but like medically have the mentality of children saying words like that. It just made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I wasn't even laughing. It wasn't even like I could have fun making fun of that bad dialogue. It was just so Heiny. It was so weird. And then they get offed by the
Hanukkah killer.
Hana killer. The whole point of this movie is they keep saying it. And this is the movie saying it, not me. Is that the idea of what a bad Jew is?
Yeah.
Because our main characters, I don't know if they were all Jewish, but at least the main two.
Yeah, that was the thing is they were all Jewish and
they were all Jewish. All of these characters. Oh, and by the way, if I ramble and you're like, what's the plot about? A bunch of shitty people get together at a shitty party and then they get picked off.
yeah.
That's the basic setup.
Yeah.
You have these group of friends, and I use the term friends lightly because these people are just shitty to each other.
Yeah.
They make fun of. There's one black character who is like the most devout Jewish person,
Yeah.
the only decent person there, and all of his friends are trying to sleep with his girlfriend.
Yes.
Like all of them.
Since he didn't want to go to the party.
He didn't want to go to this party. He's actually going to meet her mom for it was supposed to be a nice little sit-down dinner with him, his girlfriend, his mom. She goes off to the party and starts macking on other chicks and then starts sleeping with other people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're just shit-talking him the entire time he's not there. Like, I don't know. Maybe if it's because it hit a little too close. I've met people like this. And it's just a whole party full of them, of just people like this.
But even Josh was kind of like the holy devout, just kind of unlikable.
How so?
Like he seemed that the fact that he was more devout made him better than.
Well, I don't think that he was saying that it made him necessarily better. I think it's just because I think it was more because everybody else was just on his case for being a devout Jewish person.
I don't know. I've met people like that too that felt like they were so devout or whatever.
But I think we can agree that he was definitely the most likable character. I thought so.
It's a low bar, but him and
he seemed like a decent person. He was trying to like meet his girlfriend's mother, trying to. He's like, hey, listen, I would like.
He was also his roommate was probably my favorite character in the movie.
Wow, really? The guy who I hated the most? His the one who.
Hey, he didn't sleep with his friend's girlfriend.
See, I can't tell if you're trolling me with comments like that or what, because he's supposed to be.
At the end, he was like, actually, when he could have survived, he went back for his friends, while Josh left them all at the party.
All right, so
Which I get while he left.
at this point, I know that you're joking now because you're gonna say that So you would stick around at the party where you just
I would
found
have done
out
the same
that
thing as Josh. He
you
left
found
with
out
the party.
that that your
No,
girlfriend
I would
was
have done
making
the
out with
same
another
thing.
girl. Anyway, we're getting off track. We need to
Yeah.
get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
So group of people, they go to this party. Along the way, they stop at a gas station, run into some other people who are also on their way to this party.
Yeah.
They get to the party. Lame party. I've been to parties where it's been like just a one bedroom, one bathroom house and everybody's getting together there. Those were more lively than this mansion party.
Yeah.
Like this was sad to see. Like I don't really party like that anymore, but seeing this perfectly good mansion house go to waste.
Yeah, but that was kind of the point. Is everyone expected this big party, and it's a total bust.
That hurt my soul a little. That hurt like 25-year-old me. Seeing this like I was like, man, there's like no like even if in a group of people that don't really know each other, and meanwhile the host is just doing nothing but going around offering people like jalapeno poppers.
Yeah,
like it felt like he had no idea how to throw an actual party.
None.
Like he invited a bunch of people, but didn't know. Like, first off, dude, put some tunes on, put some kind of music on.
Yeah,
like
quiet.
don't let everybody just sit there in awkward silence.
Yeah.
Two, you need to have like drinks and everything like that. And you guys are not devout Jewish people anyway, because I think this is like in the middle of Hanukkah when this is going on anyway, because you keep seeing cuts of the menorah like getting another light candle lit. You guys are already like not devout Jewish people anyway, so go ahead and indulge in your you're already like dry humping everybody. Just go ahead and start drinking booze. Do what you got. You know what I mean? These are just tips for all of you people throwing parties who don't know how to. These are just your helpful tips from Body Bag Podcast.
Music and drinks.
You have to have music. You have to have drinks. Even if there's like only one or two females, which everybody kept saying, man, this place is a sausage fest. You could still have fun. Like, just don't let people sit in awkward silence.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Josh's girlfriend. What was Josh's girlfriend's name? Was that Amanda?
I think that was Rachel.
Was Rachel? Rachel immediately is going upstairs. Like, party's lame. She runs into the other female at the party, which is
Judy.
Was it Judy? I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Judy is gay, tatted up, and has the hots for Amanda. Which everybody has the hots for this Amanda chick, but she's just so unlikable. I don't know what I mean.
Right? Like,
I get that looks could go a long way, but I mean, she's just shitty to everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody knows
like 7 out of 10. So it's like,
and everybody knows that this is Josh's girlfriend, but everybody is still trying to shoot their shot with her.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just going through my list here. Bad dialogue.
He tries to hook up with Rachel. They make out, and then Rachel boots her.
Rachel boots her because I guess
Rachel isn't into girls.
No, yes, Rachel is not really into girls, even though she's, I guess, teased that she was.
Yeah. She was just joking. Okay, whatever.
So she goes down to hook up with the guy who she was intending to hook up with, which was...
Yeah, I completely forgot his name.
I don't know his name either. I'm just going to call him Chad, even though he doesn't exude Chad energy, but
no.
Screw it. His name is Chad.
Yeah, we'll call him Chad. Yeah.
And
he's just a very vanilla...
vanilla. I mean, you can replace him with anybody character.
Yeah.
He's there to just... to just accentuate how crappy she is, because he's also Josh's friend, and
he's the worst of the worst. Like, you don't do that to your friend.
And he's going to this party with the extent
to hook up with her.
Yeah, to hook up with her, knowing that his friend is like terrible. 2 hours away.
Yeah, it's awful. And right before they hook up, she looks at him like, "Am I a slut?" He's like, "No." I'm just like, "Yes."
Yeah. Meanwhile, Josh is over at her mom's house because they were supposed to have a dinner, and he's like sitting there saying, trying to butter up the mother with like, I want to have an honest relationship with your daughter, and I want to have a life with her, and blah blah blah, and the mother said something like, "Oh, she gives in to her whims, and you're I think you'd be good for her. You could help her break it, like as if it's his problem that her daughter is a horrible person.
Yeah.
Like, I think she said you'd be good for my daughter. You'd help her from indulging in her like less reputable hobbies and stuff like that. Like it's his responsibility to keep an eye on her daughter. Like
Right.
the daughter that's right in the middle of having sex with Chad at the party.
Yeah. I still thought it was funny that he thought the Bible was trying to hook up with him.
All right, that was a little funny, but that wasn't the part that made me giggle.
No.
Now, in the middle of all of this, the movie has to remind you that the characters are Jewish because if you drink every time the character mentions that they are Jewish, you would be plastered.
Yeah.
It's not them doing stereotypical Jewish things or saying something like I don't think anybody has ever said oy vey or anything like that, but the fact that they stop it so that the main characters will say, "Oh, you're a Jew. You know, you're a bad Jewish person. Oh, I don't think
Yeah.
that
Such a bad Jew. You heard that
yeah,
so much this movie.
yes, the term bad Jew is thrown around in the by the main characters all the time just in case you forgot."
Yeah.
Which I guess they kind of had to because if you just removed them saying anything Jewish related, you wouldn't know that this movie has anything to do with Hanukkah. Like, other than the fact that the guy killing people is dressed in like Hasidic Jewish garb and has the curls that you would see on Hasidic Jewish men with the
Yeah.
hat and whatnot.
Yeah, they did very little to explain Hanukkah and everything. They did very little to explain almost anything in this movie.
And this is kind of where I want to get into something, taking a break from the plot. I wouldn't know how to make a Jewish horror movie.
No,
Unless you're going to do like a creature thing like the Golem. But
even
I
though
mean, I think that's the thing with like Christmas movies because Christmas has become such like an entity where like even if you're not Christian or you don't believe in God, you can celebrate Christmas
yeah,
because it's more of now like so of a commercial holiday like that you can it can be as religious or not religious as you want.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
you can have things like people going around stabbing people with candy canes, doing stuff with Santa Claus, and just doing having kind of like these fun little, like Christmas related horror stuff, strangling people with lights or whatever.
yeah,
With Hanukkah, it's very much like it has to like if you're doing something like this kind of movie, it's deep into the religious aspect.
yeah.
And I don't know if any of this scripture that they were saying is at all true. Even at the very end, they said, "Yeah, some of those stuff that you were quoting, yeah, your dad just made them up." So I mean, I don't even know how much of this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't know. I think I guess what I'm saying is with Hanukkah, you have a lot more limited stuff to work with in terms of horror
yeah.
because you have to do it specifically, like because Hanukkah is less commercial than Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a very it's a very religious type holiday, which Christmas used to be, but not as much anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I don't know how I would have done a Hanukkah based. I don't know, but anyway. So oh yeah, Rachel ends up hooking up with Chad.
Yeah, yeah.
And and even at this point in the height of your tryst,
yeah,
you have to be a shitty person because she keeps saying how much of a micro dick the guy has as they're having sex.
right.
Which I thought she was about to break down crying or something when she was like she was having a mental breakdown by saying all this stuff out loud.
Yeah,
But just for no reason. I guess she just gets off on like insulting people.
probably. Yeah, she's a
Because there was
terrible.
like no real reason because you're already cheating on your boyfriend and you're saying it to the guy who you are straddling, talking about how much of a tiny penis he has.
Yeah,
It's
not needed.
the stuff in here is so bad. It's not. I mean, it sounds entertaining out of context, but
Just
like even the line deliveries on the bad dialogue is bad. Not even like in an ironically like we know this is bad dialogue kind of way.
Yeah, it's just bad.
And meanwhile, throughout all this, we're seeing it cuts to this woman who's out like in a shack somewhere
Yeah,
while a Hasidic Jewish man is watching her. She's like in a pit of water. Oh yeah, yeah. I will say
she's
this:
a woman from the beginning.
it was the woman from the beginning. Oh, the woman who
Like
was
the
in the
in the car.
in the oh, that was her. Okay,
I think so. Yeah,
I was trying to figure out who this was. I was like, was there an extra person at the party that we didn't know about?
yeah.
All right, so in between all this, you're seeing a woman basically get abducted and semi-tortured. Um, I will say this: kudos to the ladies in this one because the director will find every opportunity to strip you of your clothes for a long, extended periods of time.
Yes, this is very close to watching a porn.
Like, very. There's more nudity in this than X.
Yes, and X is about porno, and
There, like no reason topless either. Like,
yeah,
the women that the guy captures, first thing he does is strip them of their clothes and throws them in a tub somewhere.
yeah,
Which the nudity in and of itself is fine, but it's like, well, it served nothing, which could be okay, but it's, I don't know. It was just like it just feels weird to say. It just felt like too much. Like, why are you like even the scenes that are not like when Rachel was trying to shoot her shot with Judy, or the other way around, Judy was trying to shoot her
yeah,
shot with Rachel. Just have them, they're sitting there talking. Well, they've been talking long enough. We need to pop those tops off.
yeah. They're gonna start trying on clothes in this random room of random women,
We need
girls.
we need to pop the top off real quick, both of them, so that they can have this conversation topless, and then do their makeout scene.
Yeah,
See, I get movies like this. Again, it felt like it was trying to be Black Christmassy,
yeah.
but I don't know, man. All right, let's get through this. I know I keep stopping and I stopping for long periods of me being like this, but it's like I'm still processing like how much of a chore this movie was to get through.
So they wake up the next day, realize their car's been messed
Slashed.
with, tire slashed,
Have been slashed. Everybody is still stuck at this place.
yeah, engine screwed up. Whatever.
Everybody's basically waiting to saying, "Hey, let's get Josh to come and pick us up."
Yeah. Josh
Oh,
finds out that one woman tried to sleep with his girlfriend, and then his friend slept with his girlfriend.
yeah. So they basically we don't see anything during the day. They basically were there all day and then waited until night.
Yeah,
Josh shows up, which
because it
this
was during the time of I don't know what it is, but like he couldn't
oh
use
it was
electronics.
Shabbos. It
Yeah,
was Shabbos.
yeah, where he couldn't use electronics until a certain time.
Yeah, he couldn't leave because you're not allowed to, I guess, indulge in certain things on that particular day. I don't
Yeah,
really. I've just heard of it. The only reason I know about it is because of the Big Lebowski, and I know that Walter doesn't work on Shabbos, but that was what it was. No, he doesn't bowl on Shabbos. Sorry.
yeah,
So Josh, you can say what you want. I thought the dude was a good guy. He showed up. It took him like it was like a 2 hour drive to get there.
yeah.
Um,
No, you definitely agree with him leaving.
and then he shows up automatically like his girlfriend is acting shitty to him, to the
Yeah,
guy who's there to pick her up, to the guy
yeah. She
who
is a terrible fucking person.
to the guy
Definitely
who
deserves better than her.
to the guy who he was supposed to have dinner with her and her mom. She bailed out, went to a party to hook up with his friend, and then stuck around, and then he's here to pick her up and just immediately is just like shit talking him.
Yeah,
He finds out that she slept with a Chad guy,
he was.
and that so and so Rachel made out with her, or no, or Judy made out with her,
Yeah,
and understandably leaves.
yeah.
Now, I don't remember the other guy, the guy who was his roommate.
He was like the fatter one.
I don't remember his name though.
I think it's um
Do you want to just do you want to
Thomas.
just give him a name?
I think we're gonna go with Thomas for right now.
All right, we're just gonna call him Tom. Tom immediately goes outside. He's like, "Hey, man, well, can you can you give me a ride home? I didn't try to have sex with your girlfriend." Even though he knew that was the reason why. I mean, he knew that his girlfriend was going there to hook up with the other friend of theirs, so he might not have had sex with his girlfriend, but he went there knowing that this was going to be the case. I mean, I know you can't control what other people do,
Yeah,
but I mean, he's showing like no empathy towards his friend who showed up to do that. I mean, that's a rough thing to find out.
yeah,
He starts trying to quote scripture to this guy, like, well, and it doesn't say anywhere in the Torah that girls can't like lay with other girls and blah blah blah. It's like, and Josh just says, "Screw all you guys, I'm out of here,"
yeah. He leaves.
as if that was supposed to make it all better. Like,
Yeah.
So he leaves, and at this point, we're about what, like almost 2/3 of the way through it.
Yeah.
Like
And then the guy hosting the party, he went out back, see his sister sitting naked in the backyard.
Star of David carved into her chest.
Yeah.
All right, this is the part where you're gonna have to kind of take over a little bit because then we get introduced to a different character, some the Doctor Loomis of the movie.
We'll call him Great Value Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, we'll call him
Rabbi
Rabbi
Fisk.
Loomis.
Yeah.
He's been following this Hana killer,
Yeah. He's your
which
expedition dump in this movie. He's like, this is everything and why everything's happening.
you're I guess at this point you're wondering that what about the Hanukkah? I thought we saw Sid Haig get shot in the beginning.
Oh, no, it's his son who went through foster care and was lost.
Yes,
And,
we find that out at the end. The Hana killer is his son, the one that was originally going to get sacrificed.
I
He shows
didn't
up,
like this
exposition
character.
dump.
Yeah.
This is who we're looking after, and
Slowly,
Maybe
one
just
by
kinda-
one, they start disappearing.
you say slowly, but it's like you had an entire hour to have people getting slowly picked off, but then they waited until the very end to start being like, all right, now let's get these kills going.
Yeah. So now all that's left is Josh's roommate, the rabbi,
The
and a random Russian guy.
the Judy girl, the tatted up lesbian who was trying to hook up with Rachel, she gets up on she gets caught and then she gets pretty much mutilated on a altar.
Yeah, because I guess as you can't be
didn't-
buried in a Jewish cemetery with tattoos, so
I didn't see her get abducted.
no. But you see him cut off all her tattoos.
Yeah, which was pretty much her entire front.
Yeah.
Um,
She was basically covered in tattoos, and he's just sitting there cutting them off.
yeah, and I didn't see a couple because he had another dude in there, and I didn't see either. Oh, it was Chad guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see either of them get abducted. It was just like all of a sudden they were in this murder shed. I was like, wait, when did this happen?
They were abducted, yeah. Yeah, I feel like some scenes that probably were cut, probably shouldn't have been cut.
Not if it adds a little context.
Exactly, that's what
Like-
I'm saying. Like, they probably cut out the scene where they're abducted and like, oh no.
It's like they were all
Fuck
chilling
you.
out at Josh's place, and then all of a sudden she's in this murder shed. So discount Dr. Loomis and them.
Josh's roommate and this Russian guy go to the house across the street for a reason and go into the basement.
Was it the basement or the attic?
There's a basement because this is where the funny scene in the movie takes place.
This is the only scene that made me giggle.
Yeah, so there's this thing covered with a tarp, and the Russian guy pulls it off. It's the girl from the beginning of the movie. She escaped and then got caught again. It was tied up, and she just screams.
She starts screams, thinking it's another killer, and then the Russian dude just hauls off and punches her in the face.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious, dude.
Unintentionally, he got scared and thought. So I actually have never seen that happen in a horror movie, which I thought was genuinely funny.
Yeah,
When that happened, I was like, why couldn't there have been, not because like a woman got punched in the face, but just because it was I've never seen somebody who was the captive get punched in the face by somebody who was looking for them because they got scared.
yeah.
That was genuinely funny. Why couldn't the movie be more like that? I thought we were going to have more like funny stuff like that.
Yeah.
If the movie had a
And
bunch of
he
stuff
just
like
was-
that, it would have been hilarious.
And then he just kind of explains, I didn't know. I didn't know what was there. I just
He's
swung.
like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I didn't know that was."
And then
Because I was
Steve
wondering
left
why
him
they went. Why did they go across the street anyway? Because I was wondering why he's like, "I have something to show," and then
I think it's
discount Doctor Loomis is talking to them about the Hana killer, and then all of a
I
sudden
think
they
he said
go.
something about like the family that lives in the house has been gone for a couple weeks, but the lights have been on every night, so something like that. It's some
Okay.
little throwaway line that explains why they went over there.
So then they do that, and then they figure out
Where the kill shed is.
the kill shed
By
is
the girl
behind
they
the.
just found.
It's behind like the gas station in the woods where they initially were.
Yeah, so the Russian guy takes the girl they found to the police station. Josh's roommate goes to the kill shed by himself.
Tommy,
because
big boy
discount
Tommy.
Dr. Loomis is too afraid to go. Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy goes to the murder shed, runs into Hana Killer just fresh after he pretty much killed Rachel.
Judy. Rachel's still alive at this point.
Judy. Sorry, I keep getting. They're so interchangeable. Forgettable. They're all just one big
And then they
shit
get
sandwich.
into this bout about, scripture.
They start quoting scripture at each other to see which one of them is the truly bad Jewish person.
And then our boy Chad says one thing, and Hannah Killer stabs him right in the throat.
Stabs him in the throat, and then
chokes out Josh's roommate.
And then we basically find out at the end that it was the son and all that. Well, we found out it was the son for the exposition dump.
But
we found that exposition dump, and then we basically see the bodies that were killed throughout the night.
They all get placed throughout. Like Rachel gets placed at her mom's house. Josh's roommate gets placed in her apartment. Discount Dr. Loomis gets killed in a synagogue. And then that's the movie.
And then that's it. And then that's when I go, thank God. It was.
Yeah.
This movie was such a slog and such a. I don't know why this upsets me more than something like Venom. A couple of reasons, I think. Well, because there weren't really any likable characters in Venom. I hated aside from Josh, I hated everybody in this movie. Everybody was just so shitty to each other.
It's a movie. There's no really protagonist in this movie.
The protagonist is the Hanukkah killer because he was getting rid of all these crappy people.
Evidently, yeah. There's no real conclusion to this movie either.
It just ends.
Yeah, just everyone died.
I guess he's still out there.
Yeah.
I guess he's still out there killing people who mean to do Jewish people harm and bad Jewish people.
Yeah.
Because at the very beginning, I'll tell you, the one scene that gave me hope at the very beginning was that he ran into this neo-Nazi guy that he scalped and then wore his scalped head like a yarmulke.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, maybe this will be pretty okay. If we have some ridiculous stuff like this, which he also carried around a dreidel, which I don't know what that was meant to do. Was it supposed to be like Two-Face's coin where he just spins it and it determines if he kills you or not?
I have no idea, but
what I thought it was going to be was a bunch of just over the top, I thought he was going to kill somebody with the Star of David, using it as a throwing star. I thought he was going to shove a dreidel in somebody's eye I thought it was going to be some over the top ridiculousness like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, we didn't really get to see a lot of the kills in this movie either.
No, I mean,
you just saw their dead body with the Star of David carved into them.
Again, the movie is called Hanukkah, but if they didn't mention Hanukkah throughout this movie, you wouldn't know that this is what this movie is about.
Yeah.
If you removed all of the I'm a bad Jewish person, you're a bad Jewish person, oh, today is Hanukkah, then you wouldn't know. Oh, I have to point this out though, which is thrown in there for no reason, just to, I imagine, see how offensive they could be. I don't know what channel big boy Tommy was watching upstairs.
Oh yeah, when he was sitting there watching it's like a YouTube video, and he's like, "This is."
Was it a YouTube video?
I think so, and he was just like, "This is the most offensive thing I've ever seen." I'm like,
which had topless women wearing Hasidic Jewish yarmulkes with the curls.
Yeah.
That worn by men, jumping around, shots of Jewish guys eating bacon, just pretty much the most offensive thing. If you are a devout Jewish person, the most offensive things that you could see towards the Jewish community, which is obviously just thrown in there for
to be offensive,
just to be offensive, but which shock value for the sake of being offensive is one thing, fine, but I don't know. This movie is trying way too hard to be offensive to I don't know if I'm trying to say this right. It's trying way too hard to be offensive to Jewish people, but it's shock and awe. It's trying to be way too shock and awe to when it comes to the Jewish faith. You know what I mean? Which I'm sure there's a right and wrong way to do it. When it you could do that pretty much with any religion if you have a little bit of tact.
But this movie is.
Because I'm hesitating to say, oh, this is offensive, because I mean, a lot of horror is meant to be offensive.
Yeah,
but maybe tasteless. I don't know.
Jewish, I can't say that it's it's offensive because I'm not sure if they'd find it offensive or
But it
not.
felt maybe it wasn't the fact that it was offensive. It was the fact that they were trying way too hard to be that.
Yeah, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I'm not really
They were trying
sure.
way too. They put that above any kind of storytelling
Yeah,
because
story in this movie is complete ass.
it was just so exhausting having to hear them constantly tell everybody, "Yo, we're Jewish. We're bad Jewish people. Oh, we're not your typical Jewish people." Like I was like, "Oh yeah, God knows we get it." Like, please stop. Stop telling me. Like, I think that if they made it over the top, like I was saying earlier, like it was going to be like getting killed with various themed like Hanukkah things. Like if it was a movie that knew it was going to be ridiculous,
Yeah,
like he scalped a Nazi and then wore his scalped head like a yarmulke. I thought it was gonna be a lot of over the top stuff like that, but then it just evolved into like it was a typical setup, a lot of people in a house party with awful characters who I was just waiting for to die.
you don't even need to see him die, except for Chad.
The only thing I will say that this movie at least did okay was they at least let Josh live,
Yeah,
which I understand why because he was probably the only devout Jewish person there.
yeah.
Which
He's the
so the
only
hot
one that the Hana killer didn't have a reason to kill, I guess.
which I'm not saying that if you're Jewish you need to be devout, or if you're Christian you need to be devout, but like this guy was the only not shitty person.
Yeah, he didn't really.
And yes, let's just say
Yeah,
maybe he was at the very beginning at least a little bit more, you know, holier than thou. I'm a
yeah.
better. Let's just say he was like that at the beginning. He was still a better person than all of them.
I just liked his roommate because he had like so much knowledge of the religion, but he was still just a shitty fucking Jew.
Yeah, he was just a crappy person too. Just like Josh showed up like 2 hours to bring them, and you want me to drive you and Judy, the girl who made out with my girlfriend, home? No, screw you. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
That's why I said I don't necessarily think that he was Josh's friend. I think he was just more just his roommate, less his friend.
yeah.
I think his friend was supposed to be that Chad guy, but
That
his
Chad guy was just fucking terrible.
um
He deserved a stab to the throat he got.
and the girlfriend was just awful. Like again,
Worst
the,
character.
the horror movie of
Watch.
the big horror element of this movie was the idea of being trapped at a party with these horrible people. Like that would be my worst nightmare.
Yeah,
Having
I
like,
feel like if I was at that party, I'd be kind of happy when the Hana killer took me out. Just be like, yeah, fuck it, don't have to deal with these terrible people anymore.
you want to here's my arm. You can take off my tattoo, man.
Well, actually, the guy hosting the party, I don't think he was terrible. I think he was just kind of awkward.
Yeah, he was okay. I mean, it was just
He didn't do anything that made me mad or piss anyone else off. Like he let people stay in his house.
in fact, even when that one girl that they invited, Nina, he was like,
Yeah,
he's like, hey, you know what? I don't want to hear it. She's my guest too. So either you
yeah,
guys can get a cab or you guys can eat my jalapeno poppers and shut up.
yeah. He was a decent guy.
He let them stay the night.
Yeah, stay 2 nights actually. Yeah,
I felt bad for his sister though, because
yeah.
that was his
He
sister,
came
wasn't it?
home and Judy was just in her clothes in her bed.
I'd be pissed too.
Oh, I'd be furious, dude.
Somebody wearing my clothes, sleeping on my bed.
Yeah,
Why did she die? Was she a bad person?
probably. Yeah, I guess.
What, the sister? The one who showed up and was upset?
Yeah, I don't know what she did, but
Must have done something. The Hana killer got her.
yeah.
All right, let's hurry up and do these rating. Like I don't. Let's do this rating and kills of the movie. Which one do you want to do first?
Kill of the movie. You don't got a lot of choices here because you didn't see a lot of the kills.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna Chad getting stabbed in the neck. I feel like he deserved that. Probably should have been worse, but he definitely deserved that one.
I guess I'll just go with Judy's, just because some effort was put into the prosthetics a little bit.
Yeah,
She basically got her entire front flayed, and then
he skinned
again,
her.
and again, I have to say, at least for the women, like kudos to you guys for putting up with it, because there was way too many just like, all right, time to strip you down naked shots.
Yeah,
Like, so have you stripped down naked and like roll around in this dirt for a little bit? Just like for like, I think every single woman, I think we saw every single female character's breasts in this movie. Maybe
Yeah.
not, except Nina's.
yeah, she was the only one we didn't. Because even the sister that came home when she died.
Had to strip her of her clothes first.
Yeah, so yeah,
So I mean, I'll just say kudos to you ladies for like putting up with it because I mean, it was, and a lot of those shots were long and drawn out too. So I imagine that couldn't have been comfortable.
So
So
now to the ratings.
uh, 1 point, whatever I gave Venom, 1 point minus that.
What minus that? I think you gave Venom like a 3 or 4.
I give this one a 3. Like it's
It has to be a 3.
it's a 3 for me. It was
Yeah, this is officially our lowest rated video. Like it has to be a 3.
it's a 3. If it's not the lowest rated video, it's tied for it with Venom.
And we're about to go into season 4 where it's gonna be
Nothing but bad movies.
so
But this, I mean,
this is not like what I categorize as bad movie. This is what I category as a terrible movie.
it wasn't even fun. Ironically, like
There's some parts where you can have fun, but
I'm trying to think of like Black. I keep saying just for Black Christmas,
Like
it was
last
another
year-
holiday horror.
Black Christmas we had fun with.
Again, I don't know why I'm giving Black Christmas kind of well, maybe it's because it had those over the top things. Like, I mean, they took a Christmas cookie cutter and he was baking Christmas cookies out of people's flesh. It was that over
Human
the top.
skin with it, yeah.
I mean, it was that kind
Yeah.
of over the top, stabbing people with icicles. It was very Christmassy themed.
Over the top.
I thought we were going to get that kind of movie, but with Hanukkah.
Plus, we had the scene that had the best facial acting ever,
Which one was that?
where the girl was in her bed and like he snuck into her bed and was touching her.
Oh yeah.
I
And
was
she was,
confused, like terrified. Just the facial acting on that scene alone was actually really, really good.
which I can dig on movie, but like objectively, like the story was pretty bad.
Yeah,
The movie itself was pretty bad, but I still had fun with it.
yeah.
So I can have fun with bad movies, but this one was just bad for the sake of being bad. I have to give it a 3.
Acting was bad. Pacing was bad. Conclusion non-existent.
The fact that they had to keep reminding you that they were Jewish, like
Okay.
not in a natural way.
Yeah. And just the fact that they had discount Dr. Loomis, who's like, yeah, I've been hunting this guy, and then he found out where he is, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to go.
That was so funny. Just like,
Like,
all
what?
right, so who's this person? Like, who's this person that we're getting introduced to over halfway through the movie? And then he does the exposition dump. You're like, oh, so you're the Dr. Loomis of this movie.
And then you don't go after him?
You don't go after him. I just wanted to stop by, give you guys a little bit of exposition, and I'm a dip.
Yeah. You talk about you've been hunting this guy, and now you found him, and you don't want. Fuck you.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many other like Hanukkah-based horror movies are out there. I would certainly like to see if there are any ones that are decent.
Yeah.
I guess Hanukkah, definitely gets overshadowed by Christmas,
Yeah.
around this season. So I at least give myself a little bit of A for effort for at least looking to try to find one.
Doing something different, yeah.
I mean, I didn't see I don't go into this seeing what these things are rated really until after I watched the movie. So I just typed in.
went this movie completely blind.
So I just went up and looked up Hanukkah horror movies, and this was like one of the first that came up. And then I saw Sid Haig, and I was like, all right. So why don't we try? Since we're also going to be doing Black Christmas later on this season,
Yeah.
the newest one, which I heard was not good.
No, it's not.
This is all good practice for our season of bad movies.
Yeah, we're gonna be watching a lot of bad movies, so should be fun. We do it for you guys.
And but yeah, I hope they're not all going to be this painful.
Yeah.
Or if they are, I hope it gives us some pretty decent content.
Yeah.
Because I think Fear.com is still our most watched breakdown.
Fear.com was.
I'd rather
Also-
watch Fear.com.
Yeah.
And I did not like Fear.com at all.
No. Fear.com got saved by commercials, which this movie I didn't watch for the commercials, so.
I think this will probably be a little bit of a shorter episode than some of our other things
Yeah.
because I don't really have too much else to. We just wanted to at least drop 1 or 2 movie reviews during the holiday
put
season.
out a holiday episode.
Yeah,
Holiday
so-
season.
I'll make sure to drop this around the Hanukkah season. Again, it's hey, you know what? If you want to watch it,
Go for it.
go for it. If you want to,
The world is your oyster. Do as
But-
you wish.
I implore you, just watch it with some friends. Though this is a sad movie to watch by yourself.
I was watching this movie by myself, and I got very upset with Chris for making me watch this movie. I'm like, the fuck is he making me watch right now?
I mean, it was my fault entirely. I mean, I didn't type in bad Hanukkah movie. I just typed in Hanukkah horror movie, and
Yeah.
this was like the first thing that popped up. Next time, if we're gonna do a any kind of Jewish folklore type horror movie, I'll just say let's rewatch Meat Cleaver Massacre because I did that for one of my Shutter shout outs.
Yeah.
It was
It's better than this.
it wasn't really that great, but it was still better than this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a movie called Meat Cleaver Massacre.
As long as you got a guy killing people with a meat cleaver, I'll be pretty happy with the title.
No, it was a golem. It was a creature of some sort.
Seriously?
Yeah, you'll giggle when you eventually see the creature. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw that in there.
Does he at least kill people with a meat cleaver?
I won't tell you. You have to.
If I watch this movie and there's not a meat cleaver massacring people, I'm gonna be pissed.
You know how you can find out? Subscribe to Shudder. Go to Shudder for all your horror movie needs at a very, very reasonable price.
$5 a month, I believe.
I mean, that's nothing. If you're listening, you can do $5 a month for all your horror movie needs.
Yeah, they have an incredible selection and also have some good shows on there too. So go ahead and check them out. By the way,
sponsor us,
they
Daddy
still haven't
Shudder.
sponsored us. Yeah,
Sponsor us, Daddy Shudder.
right.
I've been doing nothing but Shudder shout outs. The good, the bad, the cringy, the nostalgic, all of those so I shout you out on the daily. Come on, just pay us enough so we can keep doing these book giveaways. But in the meantime, that's going to be about it for this episode. But within the next week or two, we will be dropping the Black Christmas. Was it 2019?
2021.
2021. Which, like
Yeah,
I said,
I think came out last year.
I heard it was horrible, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
But in the meantime, I have been Chris Thomas. With me, as always, Broke Rider Dave. Everybody, thank you for staying tuned and staying with us. And hope you guys have a good holiday season.
Happy holidays, everyone.
All right. I was at such a loss with a lot of stuff trying to talk about this. I usually have something to say, but this movie just kind of makes me at a loss because I'm trying to be like, okay, I don't know anything about the Jewish community, so I need to, choose my words carefully because it's a subject matter I don't know really too much about.
Exactly. Yeah.
And B, like this movie's like just that bad where I have to be like, good God. I mean, how do I get across how bad this dialogue is? Well, she said, "Put your pee-pee in me," and he says, "Oh, werewolf and you're hiney." I'm like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.